Hello, we're here today to talk to you about children in outdoor environments. And I have two gentlemen with me today who have done a lot of research and are fierce advocates for nature-based play.
Hi, thank you, Terry. My name is Matthew Havard.
And I'm Brett Dabb. We are big advocates on early childhood education.
Thank you. Would one of you like to begin giving us an overview of the benefits of outdoor play?
Sure. There are multiple benefits of being outside. Some of the most obvious are gross motor skills and fine motor skills, where children can learn the gain experiences with their bodies and to really understand how their body interacts with their environment. And it really combats that childhood obesity rate that is increasing right now. Children are spending 50 hours a week in front of a screen. So to get children outside and to really explore, and they also generate more ability to assess risk. So that gives them more confidence and to notice that their actions have a consequence at sometimes, or to really understand, that they are there to make sense of their world and their place in it. And so I think there's lots of benefits that also health-wise, a lot of build better immune systems when they're outside. So there's lots of physical and health benefits, and also nature calms people. Anything to add, Brett?
I would just say that nature-based learning really, if you think about it, you can address all the learning and developmental needs that a child has through the outdoors, through nature. Anything that a child can learn inside in a classroom can be learned outside in nature.
Specifically, can you address maybe how it supports intellectual development?
Sure. So one of the things to remember is that when we're talking about very young children, there needs to be a foundation laid for their knowledge development. So again, like Matthew mentioned earlier, those critical thinking skills, those teamwork, risk assessment, really those foundational, fundamental skills that children need to know for themselves as human beings, that they will access once they learn those skills through the rest of their life. And what nature really focuses on is those pre-academic skills to build those foundations. But again, as I just mentioned, they can learn a lot of all those things that you could learn in a classroom. So you've got your language and literacy, you do have math, you've got foundational science skills. Everything content-wise can be learned also through the outdoors, whether it's interacting with the plants or the animals or the sounds or the smells or the sensory through the textures of the different materials that you can find outside. So nature really helps address all of those things. Matt, would you have anything to add?
No, I just want to emphasize those pre-academic skills that you were mentioning. In nature, children can really kind of focus on what they want to do and really kind of gain a sense of where they are.
So it really comes down to being child-directed, and children learn naturally through what they enjoy and their own natural curiosity. What should parents be looking for when they're taking their children outdoors?
So the stereotypical thought when people say nature-based learning is probably outside with trees and in the forest potentially, but really your natural environment is just that. It's wherever you live. Your environment is really the space in which you live. Curriculum is what happens in an educational environment. So learning can happen everywhere, and I think that's what's really important. Nature has a certain connotation for some people, but really it's outdoors anywhere, what you could do. So if you're a parent looking for opportunities, obviously one, you want to make sure that you're familiar and you're comfortable with the space and the outdoor space that your child is taking your child to learn and interact with. Know the environment yourself first. Go check that where so you can be comfortable having your child explore and engage in that space. But really, just getting your kids outside into that fresh air, into those different environments. Beauty of nature wherever you live is that it's constantly changing, and so every day is different depending on the weather, the season, the time of day. And so children will adapt and have to learn. Even if you take them back to the same place over and over again, that environment changes every single time they experience it. And Matt can talk a little bit more about parent-child engagement.
Right, Brett. A lot about parent education as well. So as a parent, you really want to sit back and observe your children, but you also want to ask them questions about what they're experiencing. So having that dialogue with your children is very important to find out if they're learning, what kind of sounds are they hearing, and really utilizing their senses for the children's senses. And the other thing is for parents to recognize is that it needs excitement. If parents show the excitement of being outside in nature, then their children are going to show that excitement. There's no such thing as bad weather, just inappropriate clothing.
If you want more information about nature-based learning, there's tons of places on the internet. Our website is just one of them that has some resources. So you can go to the nurseryschoolcolorado.com that talks about our preschool school, but there's a resource page there that has information about the benefits of nature-based learning.